It is time that you make this the year that you stop getting stuck and you turn your big vision and goals into reality. Now, endless studies show that 91 of people who set New Year's resolutions fall off by mid-January. That means only 9% of people actually stick and commit to their New Year's resolutions. Now, today we're going to talk about how you can get into that 9%. Not only that, but we're going to talk about how to strategically set the right goals and create an action plan to be able to get you there. Now, I've seen this time and time again with individuals that are my clients, my community, my colleagues, of setting a ton of really ambitious, exciting goals for the year, but then falling off. And oftentimes it comes down to three reasons why this happens. One, the goals that they set aren't actually aligned with their core values or the vision they have for their lives. Number two is they set too many goals and too many ambitious goals, where it makes it really hard to stay sustainable. And three, they're either setting very vague or very specific outcomes that they want to be reaching. So we're going to dive into all of this today and how to really mitigate the obstacles and some of the things that might have held you back in the past, so that you can make 2025 a year that not just feels aligned, but that also feels fulfilling. So I'm going to walk you through the process that I've been using myself over the last decade and really refining and creating a framework. And not only that, but it is a framework that I use with my clients and the individuals within my community, the Intentional Leaders Collective, to really help them create a game plan for the year ahead that feels good, but that also feels sustainable. So step number one is aligning your vision for the year with your core values. The question that I always start with is, how do you want to feel by the end of next year? Not what you want to do or what you want to accomplish, but how do you want to feel, and what are some of those core values that you want to embody? So I'll use myself as an example. My core values for this year are coherency, freedom, and creativity. So now, as I'm setting my goals for the year ahead, I'm going to ask myself, is my vision aligned with those core values? And it will help me in my day-to-day as I'm deciding what I put on my to-do list, how I'm showing up at work, how I'm showing up in my personal life, and connecting those to my core values to make sure that it's aligned with how I truly want to be feeling. So let's say for you, a core value that you want to be having in 2025 is presence. Now, having core value as presence might mean not using your phone after the hours of 8 p.m. That might mean doing less at work or in your side hustle so you can really be present with your friends, your family, and your loved ones. That might mean rethinking the way that you create social media content so you're not always with your phone while you're at lunch, on the beach, on that trip, whatever it might be. So my question for you is, what are three core values that you want to be leading with in 2025? And how do you want to feel by the end of the year? Step number two is identifying your core life accounts. Now, if you've ever worked with me or known me, you know that I focus a lot on life accounts. And oftentimes we think about our personal life and our professional life. But in reality, it's so much more extensive than that. Your core values might be your career, might be your family, it might be vitality or health. A core value of yours might be creativity. Again, that's really coming up for me a lot this year. And I want you to think about which one of your core values do you really need to dedicate time and energy into in 2025? Oftentimes we have a lot of core values that we want to prioritize, but some might need more care than others. I'll use myself as an example again. For me, 3 years ago, I really was focusing on my life account of community, creating community, fostering community, spending time in community, because I was feeling really isolated after the pandemic. also having lived in Spain for over a decade. And so I knew that it would take more time and intentionality to lean into that. Now my community is thriving. I've had friends come visit me in Spain. I've taken time to see and connect with my people all over the world because I prioritize that life account in that season. So for one of my clients, one of her life accounts for the year was family. And so that meant, how might you be traveling less? How might you be taking time to say no to some work projects so you can go to after school pickup? The list goes on. So when you're thinking about what you want to be embodying in 2025, I want you to think about all of the life accounts that feel important to you right now and decide on the top 3 that you're going to be prioritizing this year that's going to set you up for not just success in your professional life, but in your personal life as well. So think about what are the values that you have and how do you want to feel in the year ahead. I want you to think about what are your top 3 life accounts that you want to be focusing on in 2025. And now it gets down to goal setting. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this episode that one of the things that I see so often is people setting a lot of very ambitious or ambiguous goals that often feel overwhelming and sometimes, to be honest, outside of your control. So this is a year where we are going to change things up. I want you to focus not just on the outcomes, but on your actions that you can control. For example, I want to get promoted. You can't necessarily control that, but an action you can take is every month I'm going to present to leadership my impact, my insights, and my outcomes for the work that I've done the month before. You see the difference there? You are showing up with what you can truly commit to, not things that are outside of your control. Another example, I want to lose 20 pounds. You would shift that to say, I commit to working out 4 times a week and taking 10,000 steps daily. You see the difference there? One allows for you to control what the outcome will be, and the other one is leaving it up to fate. So your goals this year should focus on what you can directly influence and not letting it be things that are outside of your control. So think about 3 goals, ideally 1 goal tied to each life account that you can show up consistently and control your outputs to get the outcome that you want. Now, this is one tip that a lot of people don't think about, but is really important, especially as you're setting the intention, the vision, and the goals for the year ahead. Identify what is holding you back. So if we can proactively think about some of the things that are holding us back, it's going to allow for us to be that much more intentional and prepared when life starts lifing, right? So let's use the health goal as example. I'm going to work out 4 times a week and take 10,000 steps daily. What might be some of the things that hold you back? That might mean I need to get to bed earlier. That might mean I need to create boundaries at work so I'm not at my computer at 7 a.m. versus doing my morning workout. That might mean I'm going to communicate to my colleagues and my family the importance of me staying committed to this goal. Because once we start thinking about how can we proactively mitigate some of the things that might hold us back, fear, perfection, boundaries, it's going to allow for us to prepare in advance. And the last thing that we're going to talk about today is identifying small, sustainable habits that will bring you towards your goals and your outcomes. Let's say you want to make 2025 the year where you blow up on social media, where you start sharing your voice, you start doing things unapologetically, and you stop shrinking yourself so that you can shine. What is one habit you can commit to reach that goal? Maybe it's posting on LinkedIn 2 times a week. So I want you to think about what are 1 or 2 habits that you can tie to your outcomes, to your goals, to your values, and to your bigger visions. And really focus on each and every day committing to what you need to commit to be able to reach that bigger vision. So let's recap. aligning your vision with your core values, identifying which life accounts you want to prioritize this year, creating goals that are focused not on outcomes, but on actions, the things that you can control, and then creating sustainable habits where you can show up consistently to be able to get from where you are now to where you want to be. So let's make this the year that you focus on progress, not perfection, so that you can turn your big visions and your ambitious goals into your reality by the end of 2025. So I want to hear, drop in the comments, wherever you're tuning into this podcast, what is one big thing that you learned from today's lesson, and how are you going to integrate that into your 2025 planning? I'm here to support you. I'm here as your guide, and I cannot wait to see the big ambitious goals that you have, but the way that you're going to show up sustainably so that you can reach those goals without burning out. If you are interested in working together this year to not just set your big goals, but to really be able to make them happen, there are 2 ways that you can do that. The first way is, of course, one-on-one coaching, where we work together over 6 months to really guide your transformation. So you have me in your back pocket as you work towards your leadership, your lifestyle, and your career goals in 2025. And the other way that we can work together, I'm so excited to announce the Intentional Leaders Collective. The Intentional Leaders Collective is my community membership where your lifestyle, your life, and your career align, and you are surrounded by like-minded leaders that know and value the impact of creating authenticity, ease, and impact into their lives without burning out. Because your leadership journey does not need to be lonely. And this is your space where you will have direct access to me and this community, guided courses, monthly calls, inside challenges, and just really all of the support that you need to really go from intention to action in 2025 and beyond. So I will drop the links below for us to be able to continue working together. But in the meantime, I hope that today's episode served you, and I cannot wait to hear all of the insights that you got. Thank you for tuning in to Leading with Intention, and I'll see you in the next episode.